Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Bulela Podcast. My name is inutu Mubanga. Today I have a very special guest, the talented Tulile Siyumbwa. I am going to let her start off by telling us a little bit about herself and exactly what she does.
Okay. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me on your podcast. This is awesome. Tulile. Of course, my name is Tulile, as mentioned. I am a singer-songwriter full time. Um, I do not have a conventional job. This is what I spend most of my time focusing on. So yes, full time. Um, As of now, at this moment, I am working on releasing my album called Meditations in the Dark. And I just released a single off of that album called Always at Home. The album is a 7-track album, which was produced at Pentatech Media in Kablonga by Joseph Mande, or Imagine Unicorns, as he goes. So right now, that is all I'm focused on. So that's what I do, and that is who I am.
Tulile, thank you for that breakdown. We're excited for your upcoming album, Meditations in the Dark. Thanks for letting us know that it's a 7-track album. I am very curious to find out from you, what genre of music would you say you make?
Um, I do my best not to classify myself under any specific genre, because I've grown up listening to hip hop, R&B, country, indie, rock, you name it. So I'm influenced by all these genres, but most of all, R&B, I should say, because it's had a heavy influence on my life. Because growing up, my uncles and my father, every time we'd take a road trip, or every time we'd go and pick up my father from the airport, we'd always have R&B karaoke in the car. So definitely, I'm very heavily R&B influenced, but it is not the only influence in my life. It's not always going to be R&B. You find some elements of rock, some elements of indie. I very much like acoustic vibes, acoustic guitar, acoustic piano. I do love live sound. So you find that I'm mostly found in the live sound sector in Zambian music. I do my best not to classify myself under any specific genre, but I can say that I have been heavily influenced by R&B, due to the fact that growing up as a child, my sister and I have always been surrounded by, say, my family, my uncles and my father always used to play R&B, like Boys to Men and Cisco. You can imagine. So even my father, going to pick him up from the airport all the time, because he used to work as a pilot. My mother used to play R&B in the car on the way there. So yes, definitely you will hear in my tone as a singer that I'm heavily influenced by R&B. But growing up, I have been influenced by many other genres such as rock, indie, country, you name it. So definitely in my album, you will get a taste of everything that I have been influenced by. Definitely, hip hop is obviously definitely one of them.
I love that you say you don't like to, box yourself or class yourself as any particular kind of musician. So, it leaves room, I think, for you to experiment or surprises as potential fans. So yeah, great. So looking at how you say that music is the one thing that you're doing. What made you, become a musician? Why singing or songwriting? Please let us know.
Okay, I will start from the singing part. Um, some time ago, my father used to live in another country, and as a child, I would only get to see him once a year. So say for 1 month in a year. So those times that we'd go and pick him up from the airport, he was a pilot. So the times we'd go and pick him up from the airport, those moments were, you can imagine as a young child, you get to go and see your father. They were the best times for me. That I'd even get to spend with my sister and my mom in the car going to pick up. It was such a great experience, and the songs that we used to play, I were so beautiful to me. I always wanted to learn how to sing to so that I could so that I could say capture a moment by memory. Every time I'd sing these songs, they would remind me of a time that was a happy time for me. And because I used to do that so much when I was younger, I started falling in love with singing itself, because singing became a way of remembering a good memory. So that's how I started singing when I was younger. Songwriting came to me a bit later on when I discovered poetry. I started becoming an avid poet. I loved slam poetry specifically. I loved writing. So my passion for writing came from there when I was introduced to Def Jam poetry specifically. And some of my favorite musicians would go on Def Jam poetry. And obviously for me it was almost like alignment for me, because I wanted to do what they were doing. I wanted to find a way to express what I was feeling through words, because it was easy for me to turn those words into a song. Um, so my love for songwriting started from poetry.
Thanks for the breakdown about how your family was a great influence. I really really love the story that you shared, and you can totally understand or try to get into your skin and sort of like empathize is not really the right word, but I can't think of another one. But I totally can get a sense of who you are as an artist. So you've released a single, okay, and I must say it's really really refreshing. I'm not going to lie to you. If I hadn't come across you via somebody on my Instagram, I don't know if I would have known, to look for you as an artist. So I'm always on the lookout for new artists. So it's very refreshing to listen to Always at Home, your single currently on Apple Music. So tell us about the rest of the album. Not necessarily, like the specific details. Maybe you want to do a big press release and save those details for later, but tell us about the creative process, what it's like for you, like, okay, I'm making song X, so I've made album X, and what was that like for you? What were the bits and pieces of inspiration that helped you come up with the 7-track album? Thanks.
That's an awesome question. Thank you. To be honest, this album was not planned the day that I decided to do it, because I will start off my story as say about 3 years ago. Yeah, I um, I came back to Zambia. I was living in Malaysia for quite some time. Say I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I literally ran away, and that's how I came back home. Um, I needed therapy. I needed a way to find peace with myself. Um, I wasn't sure even at the time if I wanted to do music or not. But a year later, after being with a band, called The Playlist, I decided, okay, I wanted to take music back on, take the challenge back, on my shoulders, and see what I can do as an artist. And if there was anything that I was going to do, I was going to first of all address the immediate topic, which is me, that needed help. And so I used this album as a way of release, a way of my own therapy, a way of meditation, so that I could understand my past decisions in a way that I do not make them again in the future. I can learn from it in a positive way. And the only way that I could do that was through music, the only thing that I knew how to do. So that was really the main cause of the beginning of writing this album. Yeah, I should say.
Thank you for sharing that very vulnerable part of yourself. I really, really appreciate it. And one of the reasons why I like doing these interviews is because you get to know, the person, a little bit of the person behind the art. So thank you for sharing the aspect or what, led to the album that we are going to be listening to and enjoying shortly. So talking about your album, okay, could you tell us first of all where your current single is, where my listeners can find it, so they can stream it legally or purchase it legally. Yeah.
Definitely. You can find it on Spotify, you can find it on iTunes, you can find it on iTunes, Apple Music, same thing, yeah. You can find it on Boomplay, you can find it on Audiomack. I did my best to target the streaming platforms that are available to Zambians or to most Zambians, but Spotify definitely was my main target because, to be honest, I'm trying to reach an international clientele. I'm trying to reach everybody, man, because these are issues that we all go through. This is beyond borders. So with my distributors, I try to reach every platform possible. So definitely you will find me there. If not, you can contact me directly and tell me you can find it there. And I will go back to my distributors and ask them what's going on. But it should be very easy to find because that is my main goal, to make it easy to find. Because the only reason, and to be honest, the purpose of this album is not for me entirely, should I say. The therapeutic part is just 20%. The 80% is because I know that there are other people out there who are going through what I went through as we speak. They're alone and they don't even know if there's anybody else who's out there who's going through what they've been through. So this is a way for me to reach them and say that you're not alone. So that is the main reason for me personally why I am excited to release this, to help. So yes, you can find it again, Spotify, Boomplay, Audiomack. It is there. Apple stores, Apple Tunes, Apple iTunes. Um, I'm still getting used to this myself, but I have put it wherever I possibly can, so that really is the point. You definitely find it.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for breaking down where your current single is and where your album will be available. Could you please tell my listeners and viewers where can they find you on social media? Just tell us all of the platforms that you are on, so they can follow you, check you out, etc.
Okay. Currently, I am mostly active on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram, you will find me at Tulile Siyumbwa. That is TulileSiyumbwa. Same thing with my Facebook page. As currently, I will be very honest with you and your listeners. I am managing myself and I'm very much introverted. I am doing the best that I can to try and touch every social media site as I can. But these are the best two to reach me at. If you even want to contact me directly, I will send you a message back. Um, for now, these are the best sites. If you want YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and all that stuff, contact me directly because these are sites I'm still working on. I cannot share them with you at present.
Thank you for listening to my interview with Tulile Siyumbwa. You can find all links to her social media as well as to where you can stream her music legally in the description box. Thanks for being a follower and listener of Bulela Podcast as well as for watching all Bulela Podcast content this past year. You have been amazing. I really appreciate the support from the bottom of my heart. And I hope to produce and put out more content in 2023. Again, a big thank you to all of my guests, and thank you to all of my listeners and viewers. Please take care and have a fantastic end of year, and we will catch each other in 2023.